ever. Feel like car commercials today are all just SUVs driving through perfectly clean, empty cities. Well, let's hit the rewind button to a time when advertising was an art form. The 1970s wasn't just the golden age of muscle cars and disco. It was when car commercials truly hit their stride. Automakers weren't just selling metal and rubber. They were selling dreams of freedom, adventure, and pure, unadulterated style. With deep voiced narrators, dramatic, movie-like shots, and jingles that burrowed into your brain, these ads were events in themselves. They fought for America's attention right in their living rooms, and honestly, they created pure magic. So buckle up, because we're about to count down the 10 best, most iconic car commercials of the 1970s. These are the ads that made history. Kicking off our list at number 10 is the 1977 Chrysler Cordoba. This commercial is legendary for one reason: Ricardo Montalban and his impossibly smooth voice. As he sat in the driver's seat, surrounded by soft lighting, he spoke of luxury, elegance, and, of course, soft Corinthian leather. The phrase became an instant pop culture phenomenon. It oozed sophistication and made the Cordoba, a fairly standard mid-size coupe, feel like the pinnacle of personal luxury. What's the secret? Well, Corinthian leather was a complete marketing invention, just standard leather from a supplier in New Jersey. But it didn't matter. Montalban's delivery was so convincing, so magnetic, that he didn't just sell a car. He sold an aspiration. Coming in at number 9, we have Volkswagen's brilliantly honest 1970 commercial for the Beetle. While American brands were all about roaring V8 South and aggressive styling, VW took a completely different path: self-deprecating humor. The narrator bluntly admits, it's ugly, but it gets you there. This was revolutionary. In an era of bravado, VW leaned into the Beetle's quirky looks and focused on what truly mattered to a growing number of buyers: reliability and practicality. It was a witty, understated, and incredibly effective campaign that showed you don't need to shout to be heard. Volkswagen proved that sometimes less really is more, winning over a generation of drivers with its charm and honesty. Roaring into our number 8 spot is the 1975 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. If VW was about quiet confidence, Pontiac was about thunderous, unapologetic power. The brand's slogan was, "We build excitement." And this commercial was the perfect embodiment of that promise. You see the Trans Am with its iconic screaming chicken hoot decal tearing down deserted highways. The ad blended the raw, guttural sound of its V8 engine with intense cinematic music, creating a feeling of pure adrenaline. It wasn't just a car, it was a statement. It was for the person who wanted to feel a little rebellious, a little untamed. This ad sold pure American steel and the intoxicating promise of the open road. At number 7, we have an import that completely changed the game: the 1971 Datsun 240Z. The ad's tagline captured its essence perfectly. So pretty and so potent. Before the 240Z, sports cars were largely seen as either expensive European exotics or brutish American muscle. Datsun offered a third. The commercial showcased the car's sleek, almost Jaguar-like lines, then hit you with the fact that it was a performance machine born from Japanese engineering precision. It was beautiful enough to just admire, but powerful enough to thrill. The AD successfully positioned the 240Z as the smart, stylish choice for the enthusiast who valued both form and function, proving that world-class performance didn't need a luxury price tag. Cruising into the number 6 spot is the epitome of 70s luxury, the 1974 Cadillac Fleetwood Talisman. Cadillac's ad was less a commercial and more a symphony of luxury. It opened with sweeping, orchestral music and poetic narration, describing the car not in terms of horsepower, but in terms of opulence and comfort. The camera lovingly panned over every detail: the crushed velvet interiors, the acres of gleaming chrome trim, the sheer, unapologetic size of it all. This was a car for those who had truly arrived. In an era of excess, the Fleetwood Talisman was the king, and its commercial sold a dream of ultimate comfort and prestige, making every journey feel like a grand occasion. For our number 5 pick, we're trading luxury for pure, unadulterated toughness with the 1973 Chevy Cheyenne pickup. This ad, famously known as the Flaming Brakes commercial, is an absolute masterclass in proving a point. To demonstrate the truck's durability, Chevy sent a Cheyenne towing a heavy trailer down a steep mountain pass, riding the brakes the entire way until they were literally glowing red hot and smoking. Just when you think they're about to fail, the truck rolls to a perfect, controlled stop. It was a simple, powerful, and incredibly convincing demonstration of engineering, and that image of the glowing brakes became an iconic symbol of American grit and Chevy's rugged reliability. Sliding into number 4 is the 1978 Mercury Cougar XR7, an ad that sold elegance in motion. While other American luxury cars were often big and boat-like, Mercury positioned the Cougar as something more refined and sophisticated. The commercial used lush, glamorous cinematography, often set at night in upscale locations, with a sweeping orchestral score that made driving the car feel like a scene from a Hollywood movie. The focus was on the experience, the smooth ride, the plush interior, the head-turning style. It wasn't just about getting from point A to point B. It was about the lifestyle you lived in between. This ad successfully turned personal luxury into an art form. At number 3, we have an ad so bold, so audacious, it only aired once during the Super Bowl and immediately became the stuff of legend. The 1970 Pontiac GTO, the Humbler. The commercial is dark and moody. A young driver pulls up, a Challenger beside him. He looks over, smirks, and pulls a knob on the dash. Suddenly, the deep rumble of the GTO's exhaust opens up into a ferocious, ground-shaking roar. The narrator's voice comes in, low and menacing. The Humbler is here. That's it. No specs, no jingles, just pure, unadulterated attitude. It was one of the coolest, most confident car ads ever made, perfectly capturing the rebellious spirit of the muscle car era. Our runner-up at number 2 combines one of the decade's biggest stars with one of its sleekest cars. In 1977, Mercury enlisted Farrah Fawcett, fresh off her Charlie's Angels fame, for the Cougar XR7. The commercial is simple, but devastatingly effective. Farrah, with her iconic feathered hair, leans toward the camera and says with a playful smile, "You want to see my XR7? Of course, America did." The ad then cuts 2 shots of the stylish car, but the connection was already made. Farrah's immense star power and effortless charm were transferred directly to the car, making the Cougar XR7 instantly desirable. It was a perfect fusion of celebrity power and automotive style that remains unforgettable. And finally, the number 1 best car commercial of the 1970s is the 1976 Ford Granada. What makes this ad the greatest? It's sheer, unmitigated audacity. Ford did the unthinkable. They directly compared their affordable, mainstream Granada to a Mercedes-Benz Nihagahachiju. The commercial put the 2 cars side by side, challenging viewers to tell the difference. A confident narrator pointed out the Granada's similar styling and features, all while a price comparison graphic hammered the point home. The tagline was pure genius. The closer you look, the better we look. It was a brilliant marketing move that positioned the Granada as a smart, sensible alternative to European luxury. And it worked. Sales went through the roof, proving that in advertising, confidence is everything. From Ricardo Montalban's smooth talk to Pontiac's raw power, the 1970s was a masterclass in how to sell a car. These commercials did more than just list features. They sold feelings, identities, and a piece of the American dream. They used humor, drama, celebrity, and pure horsepower to connect with us on an emotional level. They weren't just ads. They were mini-movies that captured the culture of the time. So, what do you think? Did we miss any of your favorites? Which 70s car commercial stands out in your memory? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, please give this video a like and hit that subscribe button for more retro rides and deep dives into automotive history. Thanks for watching!